Hey there YouTube, AJ here. Got a quick update for you on my hot rod project. No, I have not been working on it again yet. I know. I am welding again though. I did get my welder fixed and I'm working on another project where I'm practicing my welding skills. And yes, I need to practice my welding skills. So, yeah, it's not going great so far. I'm getting there. I'm getting a little better here and there. But yeah, I'm gonna, before I start laying a bead to my frame, I want to get some practice in and get better at that. However, the update is I have been picking. Unfortunately, the place I went picking, they didn't want me to do any filming there. I understand, respect their privacy. You know, people don't want people knowing what's going on inside their buildings and business. I get that. So, no film from the actual site, which was kind of a shame because it was a pretty cool place. I mean, it was just a couple guys had a warehouse together, business. They ran some various things out of there, and it's where they kept their own stash of parts and pieces. Cool for me because the guy at one point had done business buying and selling vintage surfboards, and he had some cool vintage surfboards hanging from the rafters in the warehouse. So that was kind of cool, and there was all kinds of odds and ends and different pieces, things that some people are interested in. You know, not everything was interesting to me, but you know, like there was a 70s boogie van there, and they were working on a really cool 50s truck. One guy was building a 34 Ford Coupe. So just neat stuff like that. But yeah, I understand why they don't want people knowing what's going on in there. You know, unfortunately, people do break in and steal shit. So, that said, I did get some stuff, and yeah, let's go over what I got. So first off, I picked up, and not all this stuff came from the same place, but first off, I picked up a couple of threading tools to like rethread the ends of axles and big bolts, things like that. One is a Mac, and one is a Wild. And why do I need both? Because they have different sizes on them. But that's kind of cool. That'll be helpful. I do have some boogered up threads on the end of my steering column that I need to fix. That's where this one comes in. So happy to get those. Always like good new tools. I picked up this kind of cool, kind of funky voltage regulator. It's got a push to polarize button. I guess if you let a car with a generator sit long enough, the generator can lose its polarity. And with this little gizmo, you can reach in and push this button and repolarize your generator before you start the car up. And then it's also got this feature to like up to kind of fine tune the voltage. Basically, it's a blue streak polomatic voltage regulator. I have no idea if it works. I thought it was cool. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna hope to run it. I know that this the little tweak your voltage deal is probably just wishful thinking. It probably doesn't do squat really in reality, but at least it looks neat. So hopefully that'll work and be my voltage regulator. I also picked up a little turn signal. I don't know what it's for, what it came off of, but it's kind of cool. It's got raised arrows for up and down for left and right, and it actually says right or left on the cast into the housing. I'll clean this up, paint it to match the car. Did not have the bracket to go around the column, so I have to make my own bracket there, which is fine. Basically, I picked this one up because I liked how small and compact it is. It's kind of neat. It looks old, looks vintage. Well, it is old and vintage, duh. But it looks the part, but it's not like those big clunky ones with the giant stock. And it's got, this one has threads on the end, so I can put my own kind of knob on there. So I like that. I think it's going to clean up, paint up really well. I'll highlight the paint here, the raised lettering here, and I'll make my own bracket, and I think it'll work really good for turn signals. So I've been kind of thinking about locating my axle and what I have and not being strong enough for my rear axle. So I picked up a set of, I think these are 37 Ford rear radius rods. They're good and sturdy. I think I can make these work. I like the look of them. They look like beefier Model A radius rods. They are a lot stronger. They're a lot well made. They're fully welded down the entire length of the seam. And I was going to do that on the Model A radius rods I had anyway. I was going to fully weld the seam. These are just stronger wall, thicker everything, heavier duty brackets. It's just an easier route for me to go, so I picked these up. I do have the pair, not just one, so that's cool. I don't want to get my hands greasy. So the other thing I picked up, this would be a 36 or 37 Ford drive shaft. Now, I do need a drive shaft for the hot rod, but that's not the point of this drive shaft. This drive shaft, I'm going to try my hand at making a cool pair of homemade lake pipe headers for my hot rod, just like they used to do back in the day. If you notice, this drive shaft actually tapers from the middle out to both ends the same. So it's wider in the middle, tapers down to the same diameter at both ends. So I'm going to cut it in the middle, cut the ends off, and that'll be my megaphone for my headers I'm going to make on my Flathead V8. So, that's what they used to do. They say, and it's kind of like if you listen to this. Oh, wait a minute. You hear how that steel rings? That's Henry's special formula. And vanadium or vanadium, I can't remember how it's said, how it's pronounced. But they say that when the Flathead runs using these exhaust pipes, they make a really cool kind of a ring sound to them, to the tone of the engine. It's supposed to sound really cool. We'll find out, I guess. So anyway, got this for a really good deal, actually. I'm really happy about that. The other parts I picked up is a set of F1 truck spindles and a pair of fully loaded hubs and brakes, also from the F1. So everything matching. This will actually save me putting together a bunch of pieces that I already have. I had to mix and match. These are all in better shape than what I have anyway. So I'll probably be selling off some stuff. But I got both pairs of I have both sides of this. So having the F1 spindles and the hubs and the brakes, all those pieces together, it's going to save me a lot of time mixing and matching and getting all the parts together. Because I still needed some parts for my other brakes I was working on. So I just went ahead and got these. I'll sell the other stuff back off. And I think this will put me ahead in the long run. So I'm just going to go with that. Now, I also picked up wheels. Well, you're saying, hey, your other video, you already had wheels. Well, I do. I have a set of 15-inch wheels, 6-inch wide Lincoln wheels for the back, and 5-inch wide 15-inch rims for the front. So you may remember in that video I said I may try to pick up a set of 16-inch rims, because if you try to run in like the Trog, the Race of Gentlemen, the vintage races, things like that, some of those events actually require you to have 16-inch wheels. So that's kind of an older look thing. So I'm probably going to end up at some point with 2 sets of wheels and tires. I'm going to paint them both the same. I might even try to run radials on the 15 inches and bias plies on the 16-inch ones. We'll see when I get there. When I get to buying tires are super expensive, so radials are actually a little cheaper, so maybe I'll go that route. And anyway, I picked up 2 16-inch already blasted Ford 4.5 inch wheels. These would be the back ones. And that's the other one. So I got 2 of those. So 4.5 inch for the back, 16 inch diameter. I also picked up 2 16 inch, 4 inch wide for the fronts. So when I get everything set up, the 15 inches will make the hot rod look more like a 60s era car, and these would make it look like a 50s, more like a 50s era car, because they're skinnier and taller. But they both will have a staggered width front to back and a staggered height. So it'll still give it the rubber rake, still give it that hot rod look either way, just different eras. And I'll be able to take them and run different type of events if I want. So saw those, made a pretty good deal on them, something I was really happy with in terms of what it was going to cost me. And even though I already had the other set of wheels and I was kind of committed to that plan, this was always in the back of my mind. And so I was like, oh, you know what? Now's the time to see them. The 4 inch wide ones are a lot harder to come by, so they normally are a lot more, those are normally higher cost. So yeah, I just pulled the trigger when I saw them. It's like, let's just do it, and I'll have them. I can always sell these. I won't lose money on these. I can always sell these right back off, so that's fine. Now, down to the last few items. These are something I'm really happy about. This is an actual 1932 spoon pedal. This came out of a 32 Ford, which is like my ultimate car dream, is a 32 Ford coupe. Preferably a 3-window, but oh yeah, I would take a 5-window. But anyway, so I'm really excited about that. That's going to be cool. That's going to be my accelerator. I got at least one true 32 Ford part on my car now. And I've heard that using these spoon pedals, especially on longer drives and trips, it's really painful. It's hard to maintain, not control, but it's hard to maintain the right amount of pressure, and they're uncomfortable, etc., etc. So there's lots of things people say to do. But I also got this really cool old aftermarket accelerator pedal. And it's a National Aluminum, made in USA, Racine, Wisconsin, number 237. Anyway, so it's this cool aluminum accelerator pedal that mounts to the floorboard and toe board, and the end of it goes over the spoon pedal. So you can put your heel in this little pocket, rest your heel in there, and then press down, and it presses down the accelerator. So that is pretty cool, and it's a neat old piece. You can actually feel the little pocket where the spoon is, a spoon is worn in there, and you can see the wear on the toe here. But it's in really good shape. Cleaned it up. Really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a cool combination. And then the last thing I picked up, I wasn't really sure about this, but the price was right, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger, and I'm going to see if hopefully I'll be able to use these. Picked up this set. This is just one, but I picked up this set of Edelbrock heads for the Flathead V8. Now, these are for the earlier motor than mine, but you're supposed to be able to block off a couple water passages and use the center outlets on my engine, even though mine has the outlets further on the front corner. These are 9.5 compression heads, and they need a little work. That's why the price was right. They've got a little bit of wear and tear damage. There's some broken fins. This one's actually in really good shape. It's only got a couple of broken fins. The other one's got a little more fin damage. These are showing at 9.5 compression. That's what's stamped into them. I don't need that. I probably don't want to run 9.5 compression. I think I'm going to have some work done on my pockets. I've got the ones I think we need some work done in here, which is fine. That'll reduce the compression some, and then use the thicker. I think you can use a thicker head gasket or double up head gaskets. I've heard people say they do, to reduce the overall compression, which we'll figure that out. I also kind of wonder about, I'm not a big person there's very few brands I try to like show off or anything. So I may end up taking the Edelbrock out of here. And the other thing I was thinking about, I may end up taking these fins down a lot. Like, I don't know how much cooling they actually provide. I'm going to do some research on that. But I'm thinking about taking them down to where they're just basically a line on the head instead of a fin. Just to give them a different look. Take that Edelbrock out of there. Make them look like a no-name head. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I get there. I'm going to have these checked over by someone who actually knows what they're doing better than I do. Give me an idea of what it would cost to fix the fins and fix that one pocket especially, and then go from there. I think I'll be okay either way. Even if I decide to move these on, I think I'll be fine. I think I can at least get my money back out of them. But they're pretty cool either way. And yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the idea of taking the fins down, unless somebody tells me that's a really bad idea. Like just running a mill over them, taking them down to where they're just a raised line on the heads, and then take the Edelbrock off and run them that way. I think that'd be kind of cool personally, but we'll see what happens there. But that's where I'm at. Not a long video, no real work done on the hot rod, but I've been collecting some pieces and parts for it, and I have been practicing my welding. So hopefully real soon here, I'll be doing some welding on this, both to mount my fenders and the seat, get all those bracketry finished, and then welding on this frame to get my step up put in. So that's where we're at right now. So I guess until next time, YouTube, take it easy.